You ever see a $85,000 Mercedes light up like a Christmas tree screaming its way through your front fence because someone finally decided to fight back? Yeah, that happened. Burnt rubber ozone, the whole bit. And I swear the sound of Madison Crawford wailing behind her cracked windshield was sweeter than any revenge playlist Spotify could serve up. See, it's funny. Just 3 weeks earlier, she'd plowed right through my gate for the 7th time, laughing with her little HOA cheer squad in tow like she was queen of the cul-de-sac about to claim new territory. Now she stuck mascara streaked down her face, phone jammed to her ear, and every one of her board members standing 20 feet back, too scared to even touch their own cars. The best part. That news crew she brought out to document my violation, they got all the footage she never wanted. Because what Madison didn't know was, I'd already spent my last 6 months going 12 rounds in court against one of Silicon Valley's biggest names. Won myself $3.2 million and a truckload of legal protections she couldn't even spell. That electric fence, paid for, permitted and protected by agricultural law, plus 6 goats out back, munching away, making the whole thing legal as can be. My name's Jackson Reed. And about half a year ago, I was just another burnt-out tech guy, 18-hour days, badge, laptop, steady pay, until I called out my CEO for selling user data overseas and found out real quick that whistleblowers don't get cake and medals, just public shaming and a security escort to the parking lot. Supposed to take years to win those lawsuits, but when your lawyer finds company emails planning to neutralize the Reed problem, it's amazing how fast people want to settle. So there I was, $3.2 million after taxes and NDA that said I couldn't talk about anything except the fact that I'd won, and all I wanted was a place nobody knew my name somewhere I could breathe again. I drove until I landed on a 40-acre patch on the edge of Pine Ridge, nice enough spot old ranch fields, nearest neighbor half a mile away. The only thing separating me from the fancy HOA subdivision next door was a stretch of fence and some faded county lines. Old rancher who sold me the place, William Hayes, gave me a warning about the HOA, said they were ambitious, but I figured he meant they'd pester me with flyers. Not that they'd try to annex my land like it was a game of Risk. First time I met Madison, she rolled up in a Mercedes so white it blinded you in the morning sun, 3 more cars tailing her like she was the president. Stepped out in a cream blazer, hair done up, perfect sunglasses worth more than my tractor, looked me up and down, and asked if I'd considered community standards. You know the type, smile like a snake voice, sugary sweet, but already calculating how to get rid of you. Right then I knew this wasn't over. She had the same look my old CEO gave me right before they tossed me out. If you've ever had to deal with someone who thinks rules are just for other people, you know what I mean? Hit that like button, because trust me, what came next might just give you a few ideas. County Records Office was a dusty cave that smelled like old paper and regret, but the clerk, Barbara, bless her, handed me a folder labeled Pine Ridge HOA Disputes before I even finished my sentence. 7 years of complaints, lawsuits, and forced sales, all with Madison's fingerprints on them. Pattern was easy. Madison drops by, points out improvements that could happen if only your property was connected. Next week, you get violations for nonsense, too tall grass tractor and view rooster activity, even if you don't own chickens. The fines stack up, legal threats roll in, and sooner or later, most folks sell for pennies on the dollar to a development company, Sunset Holdings, run by none other than Madison's husband. 5 ranches gobbled up in 3 years. She assumed I'd fold like everyone else. Didn't know I'd spent 6 months learning every dirty trick in the legal book, documenting every move, and that I had money and stubbornness to spare. Next thing I know, I'm getting violation notices, wrong fence height, unsightly tractor gravel driveway debris even though it connects to a county road, fines up to $500, pay in 72 hours or else. Impressive seals, scary language, 0 actual authority. So I sent back polite letters. Here's my deed, here's the county map, here's a big ol' your rules don't apply. Madison's replies got nastier, slipping from fake friendly to open threats about the difficulties of ranching next to a unified community. Then one Friday, I come home, gates smashed to splinters, camera spray painted black, except it caught Madison's Mercedes and 3 cars coming in before it went dark. Called the sheriff. Deputy Anderson shows up, shrugs like he's seen it 100 times, her word against yours. Video's not clear, and off she goes, claiming my open gate wrecked her car. That night, sitting on my porch, I decided, fine, you want to play dirty, I'll play smart. Spent the weekend rigging up new hidden cameras, cloud backup, motion sensors, rebuilt the gate with steel in the posts and a magnet sensor. Looked just as flimsy as before, from the road, a honeypot, you might say. Monday, Madison comes barreling down at 9:15 a.m., rams the gate, and this time the steel doesn't budge. Airbags deploy. She stumbles out, hair and composure both shot. Preston, her husband, and the board come in hot cameras, rolling everyone, threatening lawsuits. I step outside, coffee in hand, and say, your wife just committed vehicular vandalism, multiple cameras, 3 cloud backups. Want to talk, or should I call the sheriff? That got their attention. Madison starts recording herself, shouting about community access, her lackeys nodding along. So I show them the map. Point to the property lines. You're trespassing, blocking my agricultural operation, and I can have it all towed at your expense. Ashley Thompson, a board member and former paralegal, whispers something, and suddenly the energy shifts. Preston's on his phone, Madison's fuming, but they back off for now. But as she leaves, Madison spits out, we've dealt with stubborn ranchers before. Ask the Johnsons how that worked out, except I had it all on camera, her threat. Her confession. That night I went full defense, drove to see Brett Coleman at the egg store. Goats, he grins. Get goats. You can put up any fence you want, electric if you got livestock. Bought 6 Nigerian dwarfs named after tech executives who'd thrown me under the bus. The goats loved it, and Dale, the fence installer, rigged the place with 10,000 volts, enough to sting not kill, and conductive plates under the driveway for extra spice. All legal, with warning signs posted every 10 feet. Madison comes back with the newspaper and a new camera crew talking dangerous vigilante behavior. I show the reporter Rebecca the property line trespass footage, goat adoption papers. So Mrs. Crawford, Rebecca asks, are you claiming legal access to land outside your HOA? Madison splutters, and Rebecca keeps going, digging into every forced sale. Suddenly the stories about HOA abuse, not my fence, my. That night, 2 board members sneak onto my land with bolt cutters trying to set my goats loose. Cameras catch them, sheriff takes their tools, as evidence warns me Madison won't stop, that her husband's got county connections. But I'd learned never settle document everything. Next morning, I get a threatening letter from the HOA's lawyer. I call Patricia Morrison, my attorney. She laughs, says I've got every legal right, sends back a counterclaim for harassment, trespass, vandalism, water rights violations, and CCs the state AG, FBI, IRS, you name it. Turns out Madison and Preston had counted on me. Never learning my land came with senior water rights. Their development needs my creek. Without it, they're cooked. Saturday, Madison shows up with her whole Army News construction crew, HOA board, even a flatbed with equipment, planning to make a spectacle of removing my fence. She struts up to the fence, narrates to the news, I'll show you what happened. Climbs in her Mercedes, revs it, floors it, and slams into 10,000 volts of agricultural justice. Car seizes up, airbag explodes, horn blaring, power locks trapping her inside. Her hair literally stands on end, mascara melting the works. Goats line up at the fence to watch, and I swear Richard the Billy Goat laughs. Sheriff Anderson shows up, ambulance too. Declares Madison unharmed except for emotional distress. Cites her for trespassing, destruction, reckless endangerment. Preston tries to throw legal threats, but Anderson just smirks. You're looking at criminal charges, not civil. News crews capture the whole meltdown, hair goats screaming. Within hours, it goes viral. My favorite meme, Madison's electrified hair goats headbanging to heavy metal. But you know how it is, bullies don't quit easy. That night, my security system gets hacked, looping old footage while someone breaks in, scares my goats, and leaves a last warning spray painted on my fence, plus pictures of my family from all over the internet. Not just a threat, a message. Next morning, Patricia calls. She's found evidence of tax fraud, money laundering, bribery, enough to bring in the FBI. Board member Ashley Flips turns over years of recordings. Reporter Rebecca's got the scoop and warns me Madison's planning one last act, final solution to the Reed problem. I move the goats prep, every camera tell Anderson, and get ready. Just before midnight, Preston and 4 goons roll up with tools and gasoline planning to burn me out. I hit the floodlights, blast sirens, and within minutes, sheriff's cars fly in blocking escape. Arrests all around Preston in cuffs. Madison rolls up in pajamas, screaming, swinging a tire iron, ends up cuffed too. The FBI rolls in next day, finds enough evidence for RICO charges. Community erupts. HOA is dissolved, victims speak out, and the Crawfords go to trial. Madison gets 8 years, Preston 12, the rest scattered. Goats become local celebrities. Richard gets an Instagram. I get invited to help the county plan sustainable development using my tech skills for good. Dorothy Miller moves back. Ashley starts a consulting business. Deputy Anderson gets promoted. Madison from prison writes me a letter asking how to fight back against institutional overreach. Says now she knows what it feels like. I send her resources not out of pity, but principle. Even people like Madison need boundaries to mean something. And me, I still walk that fence, some nights, coffee in hand. Goats at my side, wind humming through the wires. I defended more than my land. I stood my ground so others could stand theirs too. So what about you? If someone tried to run you off your own land, would you electrify the fence or find another way to fight back? Drop a comment, share your story, because standing up for what's right isn't about revenge. It's about justice, and sometimes karma just needs a little voltage to help it along.